Hello, Connor kiddos. Oh, look, Kate moved. It's a miracle. And she's back to where she belongs, right on her bed. Kate, can you say hi? She's usually super active. We're gonna have to show some tricks to see how, like, she's very agile and, like, moves around like crazy. I can't believe she's always this good. I think she really does like story time. Huh. Aren't you good, puppy? Yes. Okay, today we're reading Ferdinand, the story of Ferdinand by Munro Leaf, and it is illustrated by Robert Lawson. This is an old book. I think, yes, it was published in 1936. And you Connor kiddos know that I have this book in my library that's like, it's this big, like 3 feet by 3 feet, and it's up on my shelf. And you guys always want to check it out and read it, but it's actually Ashton's. He got it for an Easter present. And so I don't let anybody check it out, but that's where it is. And here's the version of it. It's just that it's a gigantic book sitting up on the shelf. It's so cute. Okay, so the story of Ferdinand. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He just liked to sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. We don't have cork trees here, I don't think, only in Spain. It was his favorite tree. And he would sit in its shade all day and he would smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him, and she was afraid he would be all lonesome by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers." It's so cute. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and very strong. Look, did you know that even cows' moms mark their chart them up on the walls to see how fast they've grown? All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day, and they would butt each other and stick each other with their horns, and what they most of all wanted to do was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He just still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came with funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping so that the men could see and think that they were the very, very strongest and fiercest and that they would get picked. But Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him and he didn't care, so he just went out to his favorite cork tree and sat down. He didn't look where he was sitting. You see that part? And instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what do you think you would do? Would you sting him? Well, that's just what he did. And that bee did sting Ferdinand. Wow, did it hurt! Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he were a little bit crazy. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of them all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight day on a cart to Madrid. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. They had a parade into the bull ring. And first came the banderilleros, with long sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick them in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadors, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. And then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull, and you know who it was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the banderilleros were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran into the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled the flowers. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were mad, and the picadors were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand back home. And for all I know, he is sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He's very happy. The end. Ferdinand! I love this book. So have a great day today. Go outside and play in the sunshine. And, oh, I have a challenge for you today. Okay, the 5th graders and 6th graders love this game. I'm going to read you a few clues. If you know who it is, the first person to respond to my question, you can do it on Facebook, Instagram, I'll check all of YouTube, I'll check all the websites. Okay, here it is. This person was born in the big woods of Wisconsin in 1867. Her pioneer family traveled to the American West in a covered wagon. She was the author of the Little House on the Prairie books. Okay, so if you know who it is, send me a message, and the first person to respond gets a treat of their choice, and I will bring it and leave it on your doorstep, okay? All right, go.